Bend the knee. Valamagolis, everybody. It's Don Willie back again with another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions. And let me adjust my audio here because I do realize that I just peaked for a second and I don't want to be doing that. That would be bad. That would be very, very bad. So all of this stuff on, see how that does. Apparently not much. Oh man. Anyway, hope everyone is doing fantastic today. But as you can see here, going to be talking about the Red Viper of Dorne. And that is Prince Oberyn Martell. And start off with the roll call in the chat room real quick. We got DJ, we have Ion Tron, we got JW Flux, we got the Boy Wonder, we have Cat, and my man Sir LT Giles. I'm surprised you're not watching football right now. So football is on. I don't know. I haven't been checking out football that much. I'm too busy. So yeah, this is kind of the makeup stream because I didn't get to do a thing last Thursday. They called me at the last minute for overtime. And I got hit with last minute overtime today too, which is crazy because I'm sitting up there like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go get everything set up, and then next thing I can call like, yeah, you're working overtime today. Like, oh god damn it. All right, it is what it is. And also shout out to white privilege, and that's not the kind of white privilege that you're thinking about. So please, no political comments in my comment section. It ain't that kind. And also, my man Frank from Way Off Topic Radio. Make sure to check out the latest episode where you can find your boy talking all kinds of crazy. And also, Jayon Calrissian just entered the building. And Felicia Elana. What's happening? So let's talk about Prince Oberyn. So, he is the younger brother to the current ruler of Dorne, and that is Prince. Oh, sorry. Why did I totally forget his name? That's kind of messed up. You know why? Because of the damn show. That's why. No, but he is the younger brother to Prince Oberyn Martell. He was played brilliantly by Pedro Pascal, who you can see down here. Yeah, and man, it's funny. So like when I first started, and shout out to Sweet YT and Bernie the Burnt. Yeah, when I had first started with Game of Thrones, I started the TV show before the books. Now, right around the time when season 4 happened, I was looking up info on Oberyn Martell, just to see if anybody had done any character profiles on him or anything, because that was also around the time when I had started making videos as well. And it was crazy that like I just typed in Oberyn Martell on YouTube, and the only video I came across was the chapter The Mountain versus the Viper. And I'm sitting on the bus and I'm like halfway listening to it on my way home, trying to gain some info and thinking, okay, just going to get into the character profile. And then the next thing I know, I'm just listening and listening. I'm like, you raped her, you murdered her, you killed the children. I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then it gets to the part about the mountain crushing his head, and I'm just like, oh. I just got totally spoiled on that, and that was like during season 4. Oh man, so yeah, that was kind of a messed up way because I didn't get to experience that. But what's funny? Because looking back on that entire thing and then analyzing the things that George had done in the book previously. It was like, you know what, we should have known that Oberyn was going to die, only because it's like, all right, Tyrion already had a trial by combat with Bronn, right? Bronn won that for him. He got his freedom for him. So, you know, as much as we might like to see Tyrion gain another victory in a trial by combat, it was like, oh, you know what? That actually should not happen because, hey, he already won a trial by combat. You know, they're not going to have him do the same thing twice, you know? So, yeah, I mean, as disappointing as it was that Oberyn was killed by the mountain, and in such horrific fashion, it's kind of almost to be expected to a certain extent, you know. So yeah, that was kind of a crazy thing just to think about. Like, damn, well, you got Oberyn Martell here, who's an awesome character, and it's like, all right, well, cool. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do. He's gonna, you know, take out the mountain. He's gonna kill Tywin. He's gonna do all of these amazing things. And then it was like, nope. So it's a good thing that we actually didn't get any chapters from him, because, you know what's funny, like, there's his nephew Quentin Martell, you know, who we get a bunch of chapters with. Well, not even a bunch. We get, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 chapters, something like that, with Quentin Martell. And then, you know, apparently he's dead. You know, unless you believe the theory that he's not dead and he's swapped out with someone else. Who knows? But yeah, that was just very interesting and fascinating that you have this character who comes in, and you remember we heard about him just a little bit, not too much, but just like you heard about the Red Viper of Dorne, and he made such a grand impact, and he introduces you to the Dornish lifestyle, because, you know, you hear about how Dorne is different than the other of the Seven Kingdoms. You know, ethnically they're different, racially to a certain extent they're different, and also culturally they're very different, because for them, you know, a male or female can be the ruler of the region, whereas with the rest of the other kingdoms, it has to be a man. It has to be, you know, and if you marry into their family, you know, if I'm not mistaken, and I could totally be mistaken on this, but I doubt it. But it's like, if you marry into the Martell family, you know, whether you're male or female, you take on the Martell name. So if you have a female ruler and she marries a guy, you know, that guy takes on the Martell name, which, you know, don't think that would happen in the other Seven Kingdoms, unless it was something like, you know what, you have a great house, and that great house is somehow about to be done for, like, this is the last generation. Like, for example, the Starks, right? Currently, as far as anyone knows in the books, there aren't any male Starks left, you know, except for, you know, Rickon. But Rickon, it's a rumor that he's still alive. So the only 2 Starks that are left that are Starks by name are Sansa and Arya, and everyone even thinks that Arya is dead. So you might have a situation where people say, okay, well, we want to keep the Stark name going because the Stark name is the name that has ruled for so long, that, you know, if a man marries Sansa, we're gonna make it so that the man has to take the Stark name. You know, now I'm not 100% certain on that one, but who knows? It could be a thing. And then also shout out to Alicia Kingston. Still don't shout outs. You already know what it is. Um. So, it's just quite interesting to see like the cultural differences in Dorne. They are a lot more free when it comes to sexuality. They don't have a they don't really have a gay or straight dynamic, supposedly. Now in the show, it's a little bit more explicit. Like, yeah, we don't care. It's whatever, whatever. But in the books, it's kind of hint. In the books, it's more of when they talk about the Dornish and their whole way of living. They talk about it almost as in a very derogatory kind of manner. So it's like, oh, the Dornish, they sleep with men, they sleep with women, they probably sleep with animals too. So it's not a thing of, okay, yeah, they sleep with men, they sleep with women. That's just the kind of the Dornish way, because historically in the Seven Kingdoms, because the Dornish are so different in terms of ethnicity and also cultural standards, and the fact that it can either have a man or a woman be the ruler of that kingdom, and also the fact that it's not, even though it's called a kingdom, it's a principality, which is why the rulers don't take on the title of king or queen. They take on the title of prince or princess, which is kind of like any of you guys who know about the Italian states before Italy was a unified country. All of the different regions were principalities, and so all of the rulers there were just princes and princesses. It wasn't king of Milan. It was prince of Milan, or prince of Rome, or wherever may have you. It wasn't king when it was the Italian principalities. So, little history lesson for those of you who may not have known that. And that's kind of where where George got his inspiration for calling the rulers of Dorne prince and princess, as opposed to king and queen. So, but let's get back to Oberyn, the Red Viper. So, Oberyn is different in a lot of ways when and when he gets introduced to the story, they talk about the fact that other than him, like, he doesn't really use a sword. Swords are one of the things that we normally hear about in terms of great fighters. They use swords, sword this, sword that, right? Whereas Oberyn is known for his spear, and that is the principal weapon of the Dornish, it seems, because when they talk about the Dornish army, they talk about the Dornish spears. And also, the House Martell symbol is a spear piercing a red sun. And, Oberyn Martell is introduced with that weapon. It talks about his daughters, the Sand Snakes, and how he's taught all of them to use different weapons. And it's just he comes in like as a real wild boy. Now in the show, the way that they introduce him is that Tyrion goes to meet the Dornish people, like the lords that are coming in for Joffrey's wedding, and he's looking for Doran Martell, and he hears about Oberyn Martell, and he's like, oh yeah, Oberyn has already been here. He's probably at a brothel. And Tyrion is like, oh man, I gotta go find this dude before he winds up causing some mayhem. And in the books, he's fully aware that it's Oberyn Martell coming before Oberyn shows up, and he's like, oh man, make sure that every courtesy is afforded him, because we can't afford to piss off the Dornish. They have, Marcella and all of this other stuff that's going on. So, just the way that he's introduced on page versus screen is not drastically different, but it's different enough that it definitely makes for a contrast in the way that it's depicted. And shout out to Yanez. I hope that's right. Yanez 005. Hope I got that right. Sorry if I didn't. But what's the crazy thing? Because Oberyn has a vendetta against the Lannisters, and it's funny, like him having that vendetta against the Lannisters, but the vendetta doesn't really seem to extend that much to the Baratheons. Now maybe because the Baratheons got to the city later, because Robert wasn't there during the sack of King's Landing. He doesn't have a vendetta against the Starks either, because Ned Stark showed up there, and you would think that murdering a princess and her children, while yes, it is war, you would figure that should be considered a crime punishable by death. Because you murdered innocent people when you didn't have to, and it was under false pretenses. Tywin pretended to still be on the side of the crown, and then betrayed them and killed that whole family. And yeah, man, I understand him having a vendetta against Tywin. Why that vendetta did not extend to House Baratheon and House Stark, I am not 100% sure of. Maybe he did, and we'll find out later, about that. But that would be very interesting. Obviously he loved his sister very much. He loved his niece and his nephew very much. And, he makes a big show of wanting to embarrass the Mountain and also Tywin Lannister, and he wants to make a show of killing him, because he's like, look, I'm going to kill you and have you confess on a giant platform where everyone can see, so that this way, when this is done, people will know that my cause is just. Because other than that, it just kind of looks like him being spiteful and vengeful, possibly for no reason. And that's not something that he or the house would necessarily want on his on their conscience. But let's take it back a little bit, to early Oberyn Martell and how he kind of got his reputation. So you have, you have Oberyn Martell, who, basically he was a playboy. He's the younger brother, of the ruler of Dorne. And I think at the time his mom might have been alive, but he goes and he sleeps with a paramour of, the Lord Ironwood, and I forget what the Lord's name was at the time, but the dude was, I think, either in his 30s or 40s. Oberyn was a teen, and they decided to have a duel to first blood, And that was it. It was just like one of those kind of old school gentlemen's duels, and even though Oberyn won, at the end of it, Lord Ironwood wound up dying like 3 days later, and they were like, "Oh, what the hell is this? This was just a duel of first blood, and now this guy is dead." And in order to make amends for that, Oberyn was shipped to Essos, and exiled for a few years. And when he came back, still to try to, so that he wouldn't really be seen in Dorne, he went to the Citadel. He went to the Citadel for a couple of years, formed a few links of a maester's chain, and then decided, you know what, I don't want to be a maester, bounced out of there. Which is kind of crazy because, like other than Qyburn and Holden Halfmaester, we don't really know guys who have been to the Citadel who didn't become full maesters. That's not really a typical thing to just go to the Citadel and not forge your whole chain and take your oath and all that other stuff. So that was, kind of interesting on him. And, he decided, while he was out in Essos, he joined the Second Sons for a little while, and then he left to start his own free company. And I'm not even sure if they give the name of the sellsword company he started, but obviously he left that and came back. But while he was out there, he dabbled in the mystic arts, he dabbled in poisons, and he fathered, I believe that it was at minimum he fathered one of the sand snakes. They're like the mother is from Essos. At minimum is one, it might be two. Oh, and shout out to my man, Lord of Last Hearth, what's happening, Tony? Yeah, but it's kind of crazy to see like this guy who built up this reputation, and because of him killing Lord Ironwood with the poisons, that's how he got the name the Red Viper. Because Dorne Dorne is a very unique place in the world of, or the continent of Westeros, because while you have the North, who which is kind of not necessarily frozen wasteland. North of the Wall is frozen wasteland, but like the Kingdom of the North is, if you wanted to relate it to like real world, it would probably be something like either Greenland or maybe Ireland, right? In terms of like geographical kind of geographical setup. I mean, that's the best language I can come up with right now. And so it's just kind of crazy. Like, so you have the Riverlands. The Riverlands, I guess the Riverlands would be like your Scotland, maybe certain parts of England. The Westerlands are seems a little like maybe like Denmark, or somewhere in the Nordic regions. Definitely the Iron Islands are supposed to be the Nordic regions, just because they talk about the Iron Islanders being like the Vikings. But while most of these other places definitely take their influence from European countries, Dorne is different, because Dorne is practically desert, and it seems more akin to either Northern Africa or somewhere in the Middle East. Because of the way the climate is, it's got a lot of mountains. There's not really forest or anything. It's more desert going on, and talk about the very spicy foods, the kind of wine they drink is way different. And it's the least populous of all the kingdoms because of the harsh conditions that people live there. But yet they still built a couple of cities. Not even really cities. They have like more of like small town settlements. The biggest uh, settlement that you can say that would be a city would be the water gardens. And that's not even someplace that's really huge. I mean, they got a number of castles there, but it's not a very populated region. And that's part of the reason why they stayed out of a lot of wars too, because it's like, well, you know what, um, it's not something we want to really do because you get the full strength of somebody's army. If they get the best of us, will be overrun. And it's just interesting to think that you have this character who comes from, like, he's from the same country geographically, but it's so different in terms of cultural landscape because of the way that everything is set up. And I love the fact that George had taken his time to really flesh out not only the character of Oberyn Martell, but just the the Dornish culture. Period. So I love the way that they decided that he decided to go about that. And I wish we would have gotten more time with Oberyn. Again, it was very, very disappointing, the fact that he got killed in the way he did. And I understand it had to happen twofold, like for two reasons. One, you couldn't have Tyrion just win two trials by combat, and two, shout out to Milk K. And two, um, you couldn't have him be around and just be the dude like Spirit of Vengeance, because they were going to introduce Catelyn as kind of Spirit of Vengeance thing, and so uh, in order to open up the rest of Dorne, Oberyn had to die. It's a shame that Oberyn had to die in order for us to get the rest of Dorne, but yeah, unfortunately, that's what had to happen. Yeah, so man, I wish there was more that I could say about him. I mean, listen, he was. It's funny because, like, as much as I can say, yeah, he's the kind of guy that a lot of guys would like to be like. He was hot headed. He was impulsive. Obviously, he made a rash decision in not just killing the mountain. Um, and for whatever reason, like he was almost willing to start a war, even though that's not what Duran, however you want to pronounce his name, uh, that's not what he wanted. He wanted to he wanted things to be a little bit more calculated. He wanted things to be, I guess, a little more. I don't know. He wanted things to work in a manner that would hopefully benefit all of Dorne as opposed to Oberyn, whereas Oberyn was thinking more about the moment. Dorne was thinking more about the longevity of what could happen to the entire region. And you have to give him credit on that, because the last thing that you want to do is for the last thing you want to do is put the entire region where you're from at risk for one vendetta. That's yeah, it's a little I don't know, a little overblown on his part. But listen, I want to hear from you guys. Questions. You got questions about Oberyn? You got questions about anything else? And yeah, this actually will be the uh first stream for this week. This is my makeup stream from last week, since I didn't get to do it. So I will be doing another one this week on Thursday, barring any sort of I don't know what to call it, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. All right. Yeah, and Tony, I wish he would have finished off Gregor too. He was yeah, man, he was overconfident. Overconfidence. The overconfidence will be a downfall. So, first question I got from Way Off Topic Radio is, where's the new hat? I'm waiting on the new hats. I ordered them. They just got shipped out today. Let me show you the hat I was going to wear, but it doesn't really go with the outfit. You can see, got the t-shirt here. This was the hat that I was going to wear, not only in honor of Oberyn Martell, but just kind of in honor of Dorne as a region, because Dorne has a lot of strong women, and we like to make sure that strong women are supported. So let me show you the hat that I was going to wear. Hold on. So yeah, this was the hat that I was gonna wear, but I didn't think it really went with the decor. So yeah, that's why no hat today, right? But find something to wear this with. I like this hat right here. Check out Wonder Woman. Come on, too bright. Oh well. All right, waiting on questions. Waiting on questions. Waiting on questions. And while I'm doing that, oh, okay, here we go. It's Relis and Arelis. I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those things that at this point, it's kind of a foregone conclusion, man. Like, it's the same name spelled backwards. Arelis is described as being uh, of Summer Island background. We know that Sorella Sand's mother was Southern Summer Islander. So yeah, I mean, and look, Out of all the Sand Snakes, she was the only one to not get arrested because Doran said that he wanted to let her play whatever game it was she's playing. What crazier game would there be to play than to dress up as a man and to sneak into the Citadel? Right? And then, she might be the first woman in history to get some links of a maester's chain. But she wouldn't be the first woman in the history of the Seven Kingdoms to join the ranks of what is supposed to be an all-male fraternal order. Because there was a female who joined the Night's Watch, and unfortunately, when it was found out, I do believe that she was raped and tortured to death. But I doubt that's going to happen to Sorella Sand. I highly doubt that's going to happen to Sorella Sand. All right, so from Alicia Kingston, let's see. So what the fuck is up with the leaders in Westeros always getting in their feelings about somebody banging their side piece? I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, I don't think it's necessarily about you banged my side piece so much as it's like, all right, well, a lot of times, let's see, what can I say? It's kind of like a lot of men judge their social validity on being able to obtain, conquer, and keep women. And sometimes it's a multitude of women. So it's like, all right, if another guy is able to come and sleep with a woman that supposedly, belongs to you, you have lost respect in the eyes of a certain segment of society. And a lot of these dudes are not trying to hear that. And so that it has nothing, unfortunately, it has nothing to do with the woman herself. It's all about ego, and that's what it is. It's an ego thing. That's all. All right, so next one from Felicia Lana. Who would win in a death battle? Podrick Payne with a revolver or Grey Worm with a hatchet? I'm gonna go with Grey Worm with a hatchet because I think that Podrick Payne would just be way too shook. He would be some, unable to actually get the gun off, or be able to shoot straighter. Nah, man. Grey Worm is going to take that hatchet and bury it right between his eyes. Yeah, so nah, it'd be a wrap for Pirate Payne. All right, so from Big E, do you think Oberyn sent Sorella Sand to the Citadel to get information about the glass candles? Nah, I don't think that he sent her. I mean, it said that she is inquisitive, that she's the most inquisitive out of the Sand Snakes, and a little bit like that. That's where her rebellion lied. Her rebellion lied in her searching for knowledge. That would have been awesome if he would have done that. But yeah, nah, I don't think he actually sent her. All right, from Way Off Topic Radio, was zero one of the number of men in the Seven Kingdoms Jaime claimed could beat into Brienne? Oh no, it was Oberyn. Okay, one of the I don't know. I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you said Zero for a second. Was Oberyn one of the men? I don't know. It might have been hyperbole to him. It might have just been one of those things where he was like, "Oh, I was just saying, that there was probably a couple of men in the Seven Kingdoms who could beat me, but you're not one of them." It's like when you hear athletes talk about, "Oh yeah, there's probably a couple of people in this league who can guard me or who can get off a shot over me, or who can tackle me, but this person is not one of them." Like that kind of thing. It's not that they have a definitive answer. It's just to insult the person that's daring to challenge them. That's all it is. And yes, Biggie, young Oberyn was a habitual line stepper. Habitual line stepper. Yeah, apparently Mel Podrick cannot aim unless it's in the brothel. I mean, it's funny because that only happened in the show. We still don't know what it is that he did, and I'll be honest with you, we'll probably never get a definitive answer as to what it was that he did. It's like it's like that joke that Tyrion keeps on trying to tell about the honeycomb and the jackass. It's one of those things where it's just something to throw in there to have fans speculate, like, oh, what is it? This means it doesn't mean shit. It's just something to do. That's all. You know what I'm saying? LeBron versus the unicorn. Who's the? Oh, I don't know. Podrick has a great fastball. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Lisa Kingston is saying Podrick hit the prostitutes with the Lord's kiss. Um, I don't know, man. Like, and it's funny because what made John decide he wanted to do that. Like we still, I just wanted to kiss you down there. I just wanted to kiss you down there, Egret, because my name is Jon Snow. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. If that's what he wanted to do, but I mean, I don't know, man. The way Littlefinger had Roz and the other chick rocking out that one time, I doubt it would just be as simple as Podrick doing work with his tongue downtown. It would have to be something more substantial than that, you know. Because that one scene where Littlefinger's up there trying to teach them what it is they need to do in order to impress the clients and make them forget, just for that moment that they're prostitutes. I'm like, he was giving some crazy instructions there. Well, it's not that it was crazy instructions, but point is, he was skillfully instructing them. Remember, people will be sleeping on Littlefinger, and I really wish that in the show, I would have, how dope it would have been to find out the Littlefinger is like one of the best swordsmen in the entire Seven Kingdoms. People, like the way that he went out, they made him go out like a straight punk, and I'm like, this dude challenged Brandon Stark, who is older than him and a much more skilled fighter. He challenged him to a duel to the death and did not flinch. And yet now he's sitting here, Sansa, please, no, get that. Yeah, they. Mm, oh my God, Littlefinger gave him workout instructions while he with her abs. Oh my god, hilarious. Hilarious. What the hell? God damn it. Sorry about that. I didn't think I was gonna get some damn email. Not now, damn you. We got any more questions? Not trying to have people drop off. Come on now. I at least want to make this video last an hour. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. So from way off topic radio, and thank you for bringing this one back, Ion Trone. What do you think of Lord of the Rings Amazon TV series deal? Um, it's interesting, and I know that, obviously Amazon is going to put a great deal of money. They're obviously going to put a great deal of money into it to make sure it succeeds. They're probably going to try to put Game of Thrones level money into it if they can, or maybe even more, because you got Smaug, you got dwarves, you got elves. It's a lot more magic heavy on the front end as opposed to Game of Thrones. So they're going to have to put more money into the CGI budget just based off that alone. The question is, can you really, like, if they're going to do it at an hour long chunks, can you really stretch that out beyond, beyond what we already got in the movies? And that is the question. Is it even possible to stretch that out beyond what we got in the movies if they're going to do them in hour-long chunks? So, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know how well that one to do, though, honestly speaking. From Alicia Kingston, we got Baelish versus Loki. Now, if we're talking about Battle of Wits, that one will be interesting. Physical battle, obviously Loki wins. Loki's a god. But Battle of Wits, I don't know. I might have to call that one a stalemate, honestly speaking, because those two are both in the business of supreme trickery. So, yeah, I don't know. Another one. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back up here. So for way off topic radio, who taught Oberyn how to fight? Probably the Master at Arms in Sunspear. That was the name I couldn't think of before. I kept on saying the water gun, Sunspear. Yeah, probably whoever was the Master at Arms in Sunspear. Who we don't know who that was, so nobody special, unfortunately. Okay, so Alicia Kingston asked if Tywin were still alive, what do you think would have happened with Littlefinger? In terms of what specifically? I mean, I think as long as the Iron Bank didn't come, like really trying to collect the debt heavily, everything would have been fine. If the Iron Bank would have came like, hey, I'm gonna need my money ASAP. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? How much do we owe you? Tywin probably would have went, and like, okay, we're stripping Lord Littlefinger of his lands and titles in Harrenhal. We're gonna give it to Iron Bank. you know, strip him of all his holdings and give it to the Iron Bank. I'm telling you, we're gonna find out that Littlefinger is super rich. Okay, another one from Alicia Kingston. Also, what would have happened if Oberyn lived? If Oberyn lived, there would have been a war with Dorne. Some sort of another guerrilla level war. But not exactly sure how things would have went with that. Um, yeah, I mean, Oberyn lives. It's already a known fact that he wants to kill Tywin. He wouldn't have stopped at the mountain. So, yeah, it would have wound up starting. He would have wound up starting the war somehow. Oh, shout out to Lexi Bertrand. I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, Plexi Bertrand. I'm sorry, I told the best of your name. Sorry about that. Let's see. All right. Do you think there's any plot link or rift between the number of characters who are half maesters going back to a member of House Strong, except for Qyburn? They all have links to Targaryens. I don't know. I don't know. That's a very interesting question. I mean, because House Strong was kind of wiped out. House Strong was wiped out. You had yeah. Listen, I don't know, man. How Strong was wiped out. I don't think that um there's anybody left from from that house at all who might be involved in any plotting with Maesters. And that's part of the reason why when the Mountain is reintroduced as Robert Strong, why some people were kind of like, what the hell is this? Robert Strong? Like, how is there a Robert Strong? It shouldn't be anybody strong. Who is this guy? Where the hell did he come from? You know, yeah, because as far as we know, how strong is done for. Now, mind you, yes, maesters, when they become maesters, they give up their family names, but I don't know. I doubt that anybody from How Strong is one of the half maesters from the story. I mean, it could be, but because the Strong family kind of went back so far, you're talking about like 4 or 5 generations ago, where that family was wiped out. I think it would be a little hard for them to remain dormant for all this time and then never be I mean, yeah, for it to never be mentioned or even kind of clued in on that one. It's a little I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. You know. All right, so from Alicia Kingston, Littlefinger versus Vizzini. They both ended up dead, thinking they had outsmarted everyone. Who is Vizzini? I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. Okay, you know what? God damn it, these stupid things. Every time somebody uploads a video now, they want to send me freaking Notifications. Yeah, I have no idea who the hell. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea who Vizzini is. Yeah, sorry about that one. Which, uh, okay, from Big E. Do you think Oberyn somehow poisoned Tywin? Um, I can see that being possible. I can see that being possible. You know, I mean, because even with the poison that he used against the mountain, it didn't kill him instantly because he had thickened the poison, right? And so they talk about there's like some other poison where it basically eats you from the inside out, and that's part of the reason why Tywin, when he died, even though they treated his like the Silent Sisters treated his body with all of the stuff that you're supposed to use. When he died, it still smelled like because his body was so corrupted and that poison got inside his veins. So I'm gonna go with yes. I think that he did poison him. How he did it is the question, though. The how is the big question. All right. So next up from Ion Tron. Could Oberyn tame one of Dany's dragons? I mean, I'm gonna say no. Nah, I'm gonna say no on that one. Dany's dragons have such a special bond with Daenerys, and I think he would have to have a little more Targaryen blood. Because yes, him being part of the Martell family, he does have Targaryen blood, but it has been diluted a bit over the past like 100 and some change years since the original Daenerys went to Dorne. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I doubt it. Oh, okay. Why did I totally forgot the dude from Princess Bride's name was Vicini. That dude was hilarious. Like, yeah, and you never match with a Sicilian. Oh man, Princess Bride, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. Love that movie so much. All right, so Frank from Way Up Top Radio asks Oberyn versus Braun. Now, I think you might have spelled the name wrong. If you're talking about the guy from the books and the show, it's Bronn, spelled Brown. But if that's the guy you're talking about, um, Oberyn versus Braun. I'm gonna say Oberyn ultimately because here's the thing, right? I think they're both dirty enough fighters, and I think that Braun would probably be the guy who lets you cut him so that he can try to move in and get kind of a closer advantage. So it's not in the way that Strong Belwas does. Where it's like I'm going to cut you. I mean, I'm going to let you cut me just so you can, get that one cut, and then I'm going to, slaughter you. Braun is the dude. Braun, not Braun. Braun. Braun is the dude that would let you cut him on his way in to getting you. So it's like the boxer who uh, who lets you get the jab in, but at the same point he's throwing the crazy right hand coming across that jab. So Braun would probably ultimately lose because Oberyn's weapons are poison. Okay, from Milk K, Brienne of Tarth with golf clubs versus Craster with nunchucks. Well, remember, Craster is an old man and he's not really a fighter, so Brienne of Tarth all day, every day, no question. Alright, from Plexi Bertrand, how did Oberyn get along with the Danes? Were the Danes more of an Ironwood or Martell partisan? You know what's funny? Not exactly. Not exactly sure with that one because they don't really talk too much about the Danes siding with anyone in Dorne. And in fact, you got to think about it, right? Uh, not a Sharadane. Shit, what the hell was? I forgot what the hell her name was, but Ned Dane. Ned Dane was Beric Dondarrion's squire, right? And Beric Dondarrion is either from, I think Beric Dondarrion is from the Stormlands. Yeah, no, I don't think he's from the Reach. Beric Dondarrion is from the Stormlands, and Ned Dane was his squire, and I believe he was betrothed to another Dane. Like, I think he was betrothed to a Dane, not Ned Dane, but Beric Dondarrion. So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, what point, like, how loyal are they to any of the Dornish people at all? I mean, because remember, they are first men. They're not salty Dornish and not sandy Dornish. They are first men. So they might have, well, shit, not. But Beric Dondarrion, that's more of a Andal name. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's they don't really talk about the Danes really interacting with the other Dornish houses like that, so it's really hard to tell on that one. So, Ion Throne asks, "What if Shay poisoned Tywin?" Interesting. Yeah, that is definitely interesting. Cat asks, "Does anyone know how many kids Oberyn had?" I believe it was 8 altogether. 4, his youngest 4 with Ilaria Sand, and the eldest 4 with 4 different women. Those are the ones we know about. There could have been more that we don't know about at all. But Oberyn, it seemed like he took care of all his kids. He's not like one of these dudes on Maury. And Maury, I got 8 baby mamas. I don't believe none of these kids. Nah, man. They believe me. They can bring me on here all the time they want, Maury, and none of these kids, man. I swear for God. Oberyn took care of his kids, though. And I know I did an absolutely horrible Southern accent, but sometimes, like every now and then, when I'm off during the weekdays, I watch Maury. I wake up late and watch Maury like around like 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm just like, Maury just be having some of the stupidest people to ever grace Earth be on that television. I'm like, nah, man, I can't. Mm-mm. Let's see, Jan Calrissian, Iocane Powder or Tears of Lease. Arcane Powder versus Tears Release. Well, see, here's the thing. We know that a tolerance can be built up to iocane powder. We don't know if a tolerance can be built up to Tears Release. So we're gonna have to go with Tears Release for right now, as being, the definitive. Let's see here. Okay, from Alejandra 777555. What do you think Oberyn Martell is going to react to the news of when is he still for the Targaryens? I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. See, because it depends. It depends on what kind of It depends on the way that he receives the news. If he received the news in a way that says Quentin tried to steal one of Daenerys' dragons and wound up getting burned, then it's like, oh damn, son, why did you do that? That was foul. I'm glad that he tried to prove himself, but he shouldn't have done that then. But I think the story he's gonna wind up getting is he went there with your offer. Daenerys turned him down and then sicked the dragon on him. That's probably the story that he's going to receive. And at which point, it's not that he's going to turn against the Targaryens per se, but he is definitely like, okay, Daenerys, I was going to rock with you. Now I'm 100% with Aegon. And he's going to wind up sending a note to Oberyn Martell like, yo, fuck Daenerys. All right, Daenerys is dead to us. We got Aegon, that's all we need. But I think that's what's going to happen with that one. Is that, pardon me? Yeah, I think he's gonna receive the story in the way that makes it look like Daenerys not only rejected him, but then after she rejected him, she sicked the dragon on him. Shout out to my man Mo Genie. What's poppin', man? Oh, we gotta link up, man. We ain't done that in a minute. All right, John Calrissian asked, also for Plum or Tormund Giantsbane. I'm gonna say Tormund just because I like Tormund. Alright, let's see. Alright, Ion Throne asks, what type of king of the Seven Kingdoms would the Red Viper be? Yo, he would probably be almost as bad as Robert. I think he would be almost as bad as Robert. Like, Oberyn is not the dude that you want to be king because, first off, he's legitimizing all his bastards, straight up and down. The queen is going to, like, Ilaria Sand would be his queen, which would piss people off. Like, how are you gonna make a bastard the queen? Yeah, you're stripping the Lannisters of all their lands and titles, probably just right off the bat. Yo, nah, man, nah. You don't want the Viper as King of Seven. No, no, no. We not. No, 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 no. That would be so bad. Oh, there would be so many damn problems. No, no. That's not what we want at all. Don't get me wrong. I like Oberyn Martell, but no, not him. Not him. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so from Plexi Bertrand, what predictions do you make for the Dorne storylines in the Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring? So for the Winds of Winter, like I said, I think that somewhere towards the middle of Winds of Winter, um, you're gonna have Dorne receiving the news, and it's gonna be like maybe right before Daenerys actually comes back to not to yeah, not right before Daenerys comes back to Westeros, but right before she comes back to Marine. Uh, Doran is gonna hear the story about Quentin, like that Daenerys rejected him and then sick the dragon on him to burn him to death. Dornish are gonna throw their whole lot in with Aegon for that one and help him actually conquer and sit on the Iron Throne with Arianne as his wife. And then so that's going to be the Winds of Winter. And I'm thinking during Dream of Spring, Aegon gets exposed as a Blackfire. You find out Quentin's alive. And yeah, man, I think that something happens where Dorne gets overrun. Dorne Martell gets killed. All of House Martell gets wiped out. House Martell is a wrap. House Martell is going to be over and done with. Do they deserve to be killed off? No. I think House Martell will be done, but I think a couple of the Sand Snakes might still make it out the story. Okay, let's see. From Way of Topic Radio, Oberyn versus Syrio Farrell. And Frank, I do believe Syrio has a Y in there. So yes, you're right, you can't spell. Neither can I though, so I am no Rhodes Scholar. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, but Oberyn versus Syrio Farrell. That is a tough one there. Oberyn Martell versus Syrio Farrell. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna go Syrio Farrell, man. Because look, I think if you gave Syrio Farrell an actual sword, not the wooden practice sword, an actual sword, I think that there's very few people in the entire world who will be able to beat him. So I'm gonna say Syrio Farrell wins that one Oberyn does not lay a hand on him, doesn't get any hit on him at all. I think Syrio Forel was probably that nice. Alright, from Ion Tron. Would Oberyn get along with Arya? I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't. Both have very rebellious natures. Both into their weapons. Both into learning deadly arts. Yeah, I think they would get along nice. You know what? The only thing is, I don't think he would have been a good mentor for her, only because he probably would have fed into her worst impulses. And Arya would be dead. Boy Wonder disagrees about me with the whole Oberyn versus Syrio Forel thing, but see, here's the thing, right? If you think about the scene with him versus Mirren Trent and the Lannister guards, the Lannister guards had a size and reach advantage on him, and yet with a practice sword, he was able to do all of them in, and the only reason why he is not alive today, and he might still, I don't know, he's probably dead. The only reason why he's not alive today is because he had a practice sword and not a full-on, 100%, castle forged blade. So I don't know that Oberyn was so good that he could have taken down 4 or 5 guys with just his spear. We might have been able to, but we haven't heard about that. We've heard about him being legendary in 1-on-1 combat, not legendary in 5-on-1 or 4-on-1 combat. Syrio Forel, we saw, was legendary 4-on-1. Shout out to Tyrion Jr. Landstark. I really got to find some way of making this whole thing work better, because on screen it has me looking the opposite direction from so for you guys, or for me, the chat is over here for you guys, but for me it's on the opposite side. So I'm looking over here, it's looking really weird. Oh man. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we probably will not learn the fate of Syrio Forel. And no, Oberyn would make a horrible Jedi. Oberyn would make an absolutely horrible Jedi, because I think he would be worse than he would be worse than Qui-Gon Jinn. I think he would be the dude that yeah, he would be the dude that would go around disrespecting the Jedi rules so heavily. giving into emotion, giving into lust. Nah, Oberyn would be a horrible Jedi. Oh man, Plexi saying I'm getting a Max Headroom vibe with this. Yo, I bet you half of the people who are watching this right now, and even the rest will probably be like, yo, what the hell is a Max Headroom? Y'all remember when Max Headroom came on when I was a kid? I don't even know if it lasted a whole season, but honestly speaking, I don't remember what Max Headroom was about. Honestly speaking, it came on like the it would have been maybe the late 80s. Because Back to the Future Part 2 came out in, I think, 1989 or 1990. And Max Headroom came on like shortly before that. So maybe, I'll say somewhere between 87 and 89. I remember there being a Max Headroom TV show. I don't remember what it was about. And now that I'm thinking about, like, yo, it's crazy because the guy who played Max Headroom, showed up years later in a Star Trek Voyager episode. Yeah, he was in a Star Trek Voyager episode as like a time traveler. And you know, it's funny because like I remembered seeing his face, but like I'm just now making the connection that like, oh, that dude was Max Headroom. So, a little bit of a tangent there. You know, thank you for bringing me back to the 80s. I miss the 80s. Yo, I wish I could have been an adult during the 80s. You know, the 80s, like looking back on it, to me, the 80s was so dope. You know, but yeah, I wish I could have been an adult back then. Oh, Alicia's asking which episode. I don't remember exactly which episode of Voyager it was. I just remember that he was a time traveler, and he was like from the 25th century or something like that. I wasn't. It was either Voyager or Deep Space Nine, but dude was like from the 25th century, and he came back to like steal artifacts or something like that. He came back in time to steal artifacts, or it was something. But I remember they wound up sticking him. They wound up making it where they sent him back to the 25th century, and like he couldn't come back to do whatever. Like they messed up his time machine so that he couldn't do any more time traveling after they sent him back to where he was. I totally forgot all about Max Headroom though. Alright, oh, he was from the past when he was scammed. Okay, I knew it was something like they made it so he couldn't do any more time traveling. Okay, so for Ion Trump, if the Red Viper made modern music, what music would he make? Man, if Oberyn made modern music, yo, I'm gonna say that Oberyn would make reggaeton. Oberyn would have been the dude singing Despacito. Yo, straight up with that. Either he would be like him, or he would be like Daddy Yankee. See, I know Daddy Yankee is on Despacito, but I don't know who the other dude is. Like, I know a little bit of Spanish. I don't know enough to listen to a whole reggae song. reggaeton song. So, and I know Despacito was the song of the summer, and then as soon as that hurricane came through and wrecked Puerto Rico, you would figure, just to support so that Puerto Rico might get some more money to help rebuild, they might play that song. Nope. As soon as that hurricane came through, it was like, all right, Spanish wave is done. Reggaeton is done. Summer is over. Hurricane came through. Despacito is out of here. I can't. Wow, I'm not sure that Frank Sinatra. Nah, I can't. I don't think he would have been doing Frank Sinatra covers or skater hip hop. Nah. Um. Hey, what the hell happened? All right. Let's see here. Way of Topic Radio asks Oberyn versus Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um, I am going to say Oberyn. Yo, like, as much as I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, um, I just had like every time I watch it, it seems like Donatello is one of the first dudes to get his ass kicked. Always. So yeah, Oberyn Martell wins that every day, all day. Shout out to Jake Cruz, who just entered the building. Mm-mm. Yeah, but see, I don't really know that much about the Cure. I've heard of them, don't know much about them. Journey, let's see, Journey. What? Don't stop believing the Dorne remix. Oh man! All right, here's a really good question. All right, Oberyn Martell versus cousin of Sir Arthur Dane, the Dark Star himself. Why do I not remember his first name? Because everybody always refers to him as just either Dark Star or Dork Star. That's so messed up. Dork Star. Yeah. Red Viper versus Dark Star. Why the hell do I not remember the damn Dark Star's name? Whatever. Who wins that one? See, here's the thing though. I don't know enough about Darkstar in a battle, like, because Oberyn Martell just likes him because he's a pretty boy, right? Wow, Frank. Hey, watch it there, Frank. Watch how you talk about the '80s. But yeah, man, I, I don't know. Oh, Geraldine. Yes, Geraldine. That's what the hell his name was. Yeah, we don't know that much about Darkstar as far as fighting is concerned. I mean, the only thing that we know about him right now is that he fended off a few Dorne soldiers, and everybody thinks that he tried to kill Marcella Baratheon. Other than that, we don't know anything about him as a fighter. You know, Yeah. So I don't know. You know, it's funny. I should have remembered Darkstar's name because I've done a video on him before. Sad, very sad. Not remembering names and stuff. I'm sure I'm saying it would be better if Darkstar had a nerdy name like Leopold Dane. You know, it's funny. Like my uncle's name is Gerald, but spelled like the classic with the A, not the O. But it's very very interesting. Gerald with an O. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, y'all keep on misspelling the man's name. Spell with an O, not an A. There. Nah, but it's funny that George takes like regular names and and puts like extra twist on them, like Edard, you know, Brendan, the way that he spells it with the Y's and all that stuff. Um, Gerald, spelling it with an O instead of an A. All right, so Cat, you put Oberyn versus. You didn't give me a who though. Oh, Oberyn versus the Hound. Hmm. Oberyn Martell versus the Hound. The Viper versus the Hound. Man. You know what? I might have to I might have to go still with the Viper on this one. You know, I mean, yes, we know that the Hound is a tough guy, but I think that I mean, see, here's the thing, right? Because I think the poison thing makes so much of a difference. You know, I think the poison thing makes a lot of difference. So it's one of those things where the Hound might wind up killing Oberyn and then winds up dying, 3 days or a week later because Oberyn poisoned the tip of his spear, man. And, that's one thing I got to kind of take away from him a little bit because it's like, oh, man, you're not legitimately winning some of these fights like that. Like, come on, that's not cool if you lose the fight and then wind up, like that's like if you had a boxing match with somebody, you knocked the guy out, but yet somehow you wound up in the hospital 3 days later because it found out that the dude poisoned his gloves somehow. So I mean, like I can't even give Oberyn all the props that I want to because it's like, oh come on, man, really that's how you win? You poison the dude to death? That's what's really good, Oberyn. That's what you're doing. You just gonna poison? All right. Okay. Oh, this one's good. Oberyn versus Jack and Hagar. This one's from Franklin Way Off Topic Radio. Oberyn Martell versus Jack and Hagar. Both of them using poison. Um, for this one, I'd have to go with Jack and Hagar because I think that the Faceless Men might be skilled enough that even if they both were to be poisoned, the only one who I think would live to tell the tale would be Jack and Hagar. I think that either they would have an immunity to all poisons somehow, magic, or they would have the antidote to all poisons. So, yeah, I think with that one, I would definitely have to go Jack and Hagar. Back in my big cloud game, for no good reason. Somebody told me about something today called popcorn lung. Said something you can get from the flavoring in this. People who work in popcorn factories get what's called popcorn lung because of the flavoring that they put in the popcorn. I'm like, yeah, never heard of popcorn lung before. Popcorn lung. That is the craziest shit I ever heard in my life. Oh, so I'm asking what flavor? This flavor is called Comb the Desert. Comb the Desert. Schwartz. Hold on. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see here. Little Last Hearth asking, have you tried Milk of the Poppy? I have not. I didn't even know there was such thing. I had no idea that there was a such thing as Milk of the. So now I'm gonna have to go look that up. See, Milk of the Poppy. That's crazy. Yo, Spaceballs, another super classic movie by Mel Brooks. Ultra classic movie. Mel Brooks had a lot of classics. A lot of classics. You know, that one, Blazing Saddles, of course. Gotta love Blazing Saddles. History of the World, Part 1. Never came out with Part 2. I'm like, damn. Oh, man. Robin Hood Men in Tights. You know, also another great one from Mel Brooks. The Producers. Both versions, in fact, because he did one, back in like the 60s or 70s, and then he did the newer one with Matthew Broderick. So that's kind of crazy. I've never seen. You know what? Or did he do the? I don't know. He may not have done the original version of The Producers. No, he definitely did the new one. Shout out to Northern Amethyst. It's funny because born in February, so amethyst is actually my birthstone. And I'm just like, I don't know if I could really wear some like pinkish purple gemstones, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen like, so there's a bunch of different colors of gold that you can make, with different alloys and all that stuff. Purple gold. Purple gold looks awesome. Green gold. Gr- Green gold is a little weird looking because it still has a very yellowish tint to it. You got chocolate gold, you got black gold, which is basically you take white gold and plate it with black rhodium. Blue gold. Yes, there is such thing as a blue gold. What else? I've seen green, blue. Everyone knows rose gold because all you do is you mix that with a little bit more copper, and I believe tin or nickel. I don't know. See, I'm sitting there bit talking about. Listen, I'm the type of guy who just learns a bunch of nonsensical stuff for no good reason. Like, there's no good reason for me to know uh, uh, all these different colors of alloy gold that can be made. No reason. Except if I happen to, I don't know, I'm thinking about taking gemology years ago, but classes are expensive as all hell. But I might still do it just to become a jeweler, just because I want to be able to have all different colors of gold chains, find out where I can get gold wholesale from and just be an alchemist making like, okay, what other color can I make a rainbow gold chain? Why? Just because. I want to make a rainbow gold maester's chain. That'll be the jewelry I wear. Just because. Wait, what did you just say? Okay, so shout out to my man Tony, Lord of the Last Hearth, who just sent me the milk of the poppy joints. I'm out there. Ah, no, I can't do it. Strawberry. Look, yeah, I hate strawberries. Uh, why did it have to be strawberry? Yeah, why did it have to be strawberry? I know people probably like, what? Why don't you like strawberry? I'm sorry, no, I can't do it. So it looks like no milk of the poppy for me. I won't be trying that one. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Yes, also very, very dope. Alright, so we got a question here from Plexi Bertrand. How much of Rhaegar's plan do you think Elliot knew? Only enough to got her and her kids disinherited. That seems to be about the extent of what she knew. Unfortunately for her. I mean, what's funny though, because like, alright, so the show says that Rhaegar annulled his marriage to Ilya. I mean, either way you slice it, right? If he annulled his marriage to Ilya to have another kid with Lyanna, if he annulled his marriage, that's messed up. If he got divorced just for that, that's still messed up. If it's anything other than, well, one of my ancestors, Maegor the Cruel, was able to take extra wives, I'm pulling a Maegor, or I'm pulling an Aegon the First. If it was anything other than that, Rhaegar's foul. Rhaegar's mad foul. Foulest man in all of the Seven Kingdoms. Maybe not. Oh man, oh man. So Frank is asking, doesn't the wife have to sign the annulment? Probably. And that should be on record somewhere. Oh man, I remember I was watching one of Preston Jacobs videos, after that whole thing it came out, and he was like, he was like just saying, I know everything. I know this, like, if you ever seen any of the Preston Jacobs videos, he did after season 7, like after the episodes were there or whatever. He was, I don't even remember the guy, because like Preston does have entertaining videos, but sometimes like like the whole Deeper Dorne series, and since we're on Dorne, I can't stand the fact that he knows that that the woman's name is Ariane, and he keeps on calling it Ariana. It's like, dude, that's not her name. Like, why would you do that? That's so highly disrespectful. Man, I don't know, man. Like, with this whole Rhaegar situation, though, I don't. The whole annulment thing seems kind of crazy. The divorce thing seems kind of crazy. Like, I honestly don't know what he really did. Yeah, like I said, Alicia, Preston's videos can be entertaining, but there are some times where I'm just like, oh, come on. I mean, there's a lot of people who make entertaining videos, and then sometimes you gotta look at them just like, oh, come on, man, really? Like, is that what you rolling with? Is that what you're really trying to sell me right now? Like shout out to Order the Green Hand. They're looking for. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, they're looking for people to debate them about R plus L equals J, because they don't believe R plus L equals J. Preston doesn't believe R plus L equals J, and my man Quinn from Ideas of Ice and Fire, also does not believe R plus L equals J either. But there's something about the way that that Order of the Green Hand presents it versus Preston and Quinn that kind of have me like, nah, not buying it. Now they put up the challenge to debate them on Roris channel. I thought about doing it. In fact, I forgot to hit her back to tell like, nah. And it's not because I think I would lose on the merits of the argument, but after the last time I went on there and people were just like, oh, you know, Arthur Dayne fanboys and Arthur Dayne versus Daemon Blackfire, it was just like, oh no, Arthur Dayne. I'm like, yo, when it came to the question about who was the better battle commander, 40% still voted for Arthur Dayne. I'm like, we don't even know of Arthur Dayne being in a damn battle. And Arthur Dayne wasn't the head of the Kingsguard at the time. You know, Gerald Hightower was the king, was the, not king, but was the world commander of the Kingsguard. So, like, you can't even, like, how in the world do 40% of the people vote for Arthur Dayne as a better battle commander than Daemon Blackfire? So, you know, people who are with particular theorists sometimes, you know, get on the real stand shit and just like, oh, everything this person says is true. So I'm not gonna have a situation where I walk in and people are just like, oh, Order of the Green Hand wins it just because it's Order of the Green Hand, and aren't looking at the merits of what the argument are. I'm not going through that shit. Fuck that. More than Amethyst, I wish I could say I loved all YouTubers. I wish I could say that. I love a lot of them, though. Good 75%. There's at least one who's going to have to bend the knee when I see him in person, though. On camera. It's not hyperbole. It's not wishful thinking. Nah. You understand and say, bend the knee or be destroyed. On camera. I know, man. Listen, I already told people, man. If you haven't been following me on Twitter, see the name down there. I'm letting the salt flow. I'm letting the salt flow. I'm not playing around with these cats anymore, man. I've been way too nice to people who don't deserve it for too long. Not happening anymore. Right. All right, so we got any more questions before I wrap this up? I know it takes a minute before it hits the actual chat, so I can't wait till I get these new hats. Wait until y'all see the new hats that I got on. I got coming. Hopefully, I should get them. If I'm lucky, I might get them by Thursday. Because they shipped out today. I think it said 2 to 4 business days. See if I can track these down. It says your order has teleported. Track your shipment. Oh, what the hell? Free shipment. Says your package is on its way to postal facility. Oh, god damn it. It hasn't even gotten there yet. Oh wow, that's hilarious. So what show were you on again? Let's see. I mean, well, I was on. Yeah, I was on Roris. Also on your show, Frank, Way Out Topic Radio. You guys make sure to check out that one. Last discussion we had was pretty interesting, even though I must admit I was half asleep for half of it. I don't remember a damn thing I said. Sorry, Frank. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it my damn self. I don't remember a damn thing I said. I know we got through it, but I don't remember a damn thing that I said at all. But yeah, the link is on Twitter. Oh my god. Alicia says in my Dune voice, listen to me. The salt has fueled our fandom. The salt has enabled us to create phenomenal tinfoil. It has allowed us to become part of this fandom greatness. The salt must flow. Indeed, salt must flow. Oh man. So yeah, look, I will be back hopefully at the regular time this Thursday. Obviously, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Yes, next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so I won't be here next Thursday, but this Thursday I will be back, and it's either going to be Arya or Daemon Blackfire. Man. And I got to figure out something for next week, because I can't leave you guys hanging next week. I don't know, because I'm going to be out of town. So I'll see if I can possibly do something while I'm out of town. No promises. It'll probably be a totally different setup, because I'm not going to have this thing or whatever, but we'll see what happens. All right? If I can't do it during the week sometime for next week's, then possibly I'll try it for like Sunday afternoon or something. Yeah. Alright, so I will take these last two from Cat and Plexi, and then I'm gonna call it a wrap. Alright, let's see here. So, from Cat, if you could pick a character to dress up as, not Littlefinger, okay, which one would you try? Okay, so, character that's not Littlefinger to dress up as. I mean, I've already dressed up as a brother of the Night's Watch. My own person that I made up. Call him Derek Sand. Alright, who else would I dress up as, though? You know what? I could probably. And I know you guys can't see, what I look like full body right now. I could probably pull off strong belt wise. If I shaved off, the mustache and goatee, got me a little vest or whatever, got me some like parachute pants, I could probably pull off strong belt wise. Except I'm just, I'm nowhere near as tall as he is. So, very interesting question though, for that one. But hopefully by next year I will look nothing like Strong Belwar. I'm gonna get back in the gym, damn it, because I need to look at least decent for April again. So if that's possible, I don't know. I'm gonna try. All right, show complexity. What episodes are you planning that aren't character centric? Episodes am I planning aren't character centric? Ice and Fire opinions. You know what? I'd have to probably do something just based on regional cultures. Yeah, so maybe I'll try something based on regional cultures. You know, but tomorrow, and hopefully this will help me get back on track with the older style videos and put in a little bit more work that I've been doing. Tomorrow I'm actually going to a class at YouTube to learn more about Final Cut Pro. So I got that class tomorrow at like 5 o'clock. Hopefully it'll teach me something that I don't already know and inspire me to make more of the edited content that I used to make. Because I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't done the green screen thing in a long time. And I know I said I was going to get back to that. I need to get back on track with that stuff, yeah, But we'll see what happens. So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna call it a wrap for tonight. Oh yeah, shit. You know what, Alicia? Thank you. I totally forgot. For anyone who's going to Ice and Fire Con, make sure to use the promo code HYPE, and also we got ginger ale from the Mad Queens. So if you use any one of those two codes, you will get $5 off your ticket price. All right, so for those of you who are going to Ice and Fire Con, not Con of Thrones is a totally different thing, but Ice and Fire Con, if you're going there, make sure to use the promo code HYPE or ginger ale, all one word, and you will get $5 off your ticket for that convention. And hope to see you guys there, because I definitely will be there. Probably gonna rent a car and just drive out there for Dolo. I don't know, but I'm gonna be out there. Be there, April. We'll see you guys. Anyway, so like I said, I will be back later this week with either Arya or Daemon Blackfire. I would like to thank everyone who has joined me tonight. I'd like to thank all those who will watch me later on. And the rest, you already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share. Tell your friends to come back for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you are not doing so already. Like I said, you can see the name down here. And that has been my time. This is Don Willie saying, Bella Dohiris. See you in a couple of days.